Hello, FIM team. Pastor Paul here. I just want to first off say this is the most impersonal way for me to do this. But because of time frame and time constraints and not being able to pull a meeting off real quickly, Otho and I just told him, I said, what I like to do is I like to take a second and get with you guys and send you guys a video and talk to you just a little bit about how excited I am about going to the two services on September the 9th. That is a big, big deal for us as a church. Now, I think about all the different ministries. I'm talking about from setup team to the worship team, from the children's ministry to the people that are going to be preaching every week. It's not just me. We've got other people that are preaching. From people that bring coffee to the people who make sure all the technical stuff goes on. Everybody is doing something. But for me, as I've told you over and over and over, probably the greatest team that we have that wows people in the door and wows them out of the door is our First Impressions ministry. Our First Impressions ministry is the face. People make a decision in the first 30 to 90 seconds whether they're going to come back and stay in the church or not. And the reason we have so many people coming, over 100 with children in all county, over 100 last year, and the reason I believe they're staying is when they get greeted, they get welcomed by an incredible team of people like yourselves. I'm so grateful for you. I'm so grateful for what you're doing. I'm so grateful for the work that you're putting in, the effort and the energy that you're putting in, the time you're putting in on Sunday mornings, the time that we're going to ask you to commit to as we jump into two services. Now, we have looked at how we can most easily work the teams. So what we've done is we have divided up, Otho and his team have set it up to where there's 4 weeks in the month typically, and we've only got a couple of fifth Sundays throughout the year. But those 4 Sundays, one team covers each Sunday. And what we've asked our leadership, as far as our ministry heads, those are in leadership, and our life group leaders and pastors, elders, staff, we've asked them if they can to stay for 2 services to try and do that. Many of them will. Some of them can. Some of them can't. Due to the age of children, we totally understand and get that. And we understand if you're not going to be able to do it, we're going to ask. But what we're asking you to do as a FIM team is to come in before the first service, make sure everything is set. Now, the way things are set in that first service are going to be pretty important. And the reason they're important is we're going to be taking all the welcome center, all the check-ins, all the registration, all the coffee table, all that is going to be moved out of our gym area, which is now will be just a sanctuary. And the door that everybody will be coming into will be the first door into the cafeteria. We'll have our welcome center set up there. We'll have our coffee set up there. We'll have a cry room in there where moms that can come over and whether they're nursing or feeding their children or whether they just need to take a break for a second. And we're going to do our best to have a speaker piped into there starting on the 9th. But we're going to be working all these. We're working diligently behind the scene with all these details. Now, Kyle's going to have our children's check-in so people can come in while we're still in the first service, still having the first service, and they've got a place to mingle and fellowship before the break in between the 2 services start. So our first service is at 9 a.m., right? 9 a.m., and the second service is at 10:45. So at 9 a.m., we're going to be cranking up sharp because we want to be done between 10 and 10:15. There's about a 15-minute window in there that we want to make sure that we meet, and that gives 30 minutes to 45 minutes for the time between the services. Now, we're not going to herd people. And that's one of the things I've committed to is that people are going to ease their way back out. If they want to go back through the four-year fellowship, hang out, that's going to be. But at 10:45, we're going to crank up the service, our second service, straight on time. But I will ask you to usher people into the sanctuary area from the foyer, whether it be at the 9 o'clock or the 10:45 service. So we're asking you to be there at least 30 minutes ahead of time like we have every Sunday. We've started when we were doing one service, we were asking you to be there 30 minutes ahead of time. And so we're asking you as a FIM team to be there at 8:30. Now, at 7:30, our setup team will have already been there, set up. The worship team will be finished practicing, so you will probably catch the last bit of that practice time for the worship team, and then it'll be greeting our guests as they come in the door. Remember, the first 30 to 90 seconds, they're making that first impression as you greet outside the door, inside the door, and as you usher them into the sanctuary area. We're going to have signs that point the way for people to come in to the area to where they can be directed into the sanctuary area, which will point to the bathrooms and more children's ministry area. So you being a part of this is going to be a huge help. Now, I know this video is going to take a few more minutes, but I just don't want you to be unaware of what we're doing. So we're asking you to arrive. FIM team, work the entire Sunday, your entire day. Now, if you need to go, we understand that. We are not being demanding at all, but we're asking if you can come in at 8:30, be there on your week. You're only 12 a year. That's all we're looking at. That 8:30 in the morning, be there on time every time, except for some time when you need to be ahead of time. So be there on time, excited, ready to greet these wonderful families as they come experience grace for the first time or second time or third time, or those that have been coming to grace for any length of time. And then in between services, you're welcome to come into the service. I encourage you to do that. But if you would like, stay in the welcome center area outside until our second service transitions into starting. Otho and his team will have people positioned at the door, and then what we'll do is if those that he releases will come in to the second service if they wish. So I do want you to go to one of the two services. I would love for you to do that. I've been part of churches, and I've loved going to both, simply because there's a new word and a new nugget every single time I went. The worship is the same, but yet different. The message is the same, but yet different. And there's wonderful times. I can hear messages over and over and get something fresh and new every time. But we need your help. It's not, guys, this is a big deal. I mean, I put my head on my hands for a reason, because this is a big deal. We need your help. We need every single team leader on the FIM team. We need your help to rally your team, to get your team excited. I know you're already excited, but to continue to keep them excited about what God is doing here at Grace. You are one of the reasons that their lives are being transformed. You are one of the reasons that God is doing something great, because you're wowing them in and wowing them out, fellowshipping with them as they're leaving and thanking them for coming and hugging those necks. You're making a difference. So 8:30, show up, be ready, be excited for service to start right at 9 o'clock, and then welcome and thank our people for coming as they leave. They'll be leaving through the fellowship, the cafeteria, or they're leaving through the sanctuary area. Either way, so we're going to want people positioned at those places. Otho will be working with you on that, be sending this out with an email with even more instructions. So we love you. We're excited about you, and sorry again, just the time is not going to give me an opportunity to meet with you face-to-face. The next meeting you have, we'll be there, and I'll see you on Sunday, of course. I mean, good grief. This is just the way I'm having to communicate right now because of our shrunken time period and when we're launching into this 2 services. So we love you, love you, love you, love you more than I can ever tell you. And I'm so grateful to have you on the First Impressions Ministry doing what God is calling us to do, and that is transforming lives for Christ. Wowing them in the door, wowing them out of the door. So we love you, be blessed, and we will see you on Sunday. God bless. Pastor Paul, over and out.